Thank you for joining us tonight. You're now with me, Cheryl Shaminato, for TVS Nightline. As always, we begin with the headlines. A total of 109 police officers and personnel from 3 police stations in Kuching had undergone COVID-19 tests after 2 suspects who were detained in an operation tested positive.
According to Sarawak Commissioner of Police Dato' Aidi Ismail, the personnel involved were from Gita, Sukama and Tabuan police stations. It included 10 officers and 99 personnel from the Department of Criminal Investigation, police escorts and lockup wardens.
Ada 2 tahanan yang disahkan positif dan ada seorang lagi yang dia pada ujian test pertama dia negatif, tapi dia ada simptom. Jadi dia pun dibawa oleh pihak KKM ke hospital lah untuk dia buat swab kali kedua. Dan untuk anggota kita ada 3 buah balai ni kerana ada close contact. Dia ni semua tahanan ni ditempatkan di 3 balai ni kerana dia 2 kumpulan yang berbeza dan ramai 99 anggota dan 10 orang pegawai kita dah buat ujian swab lah dengan KKM pada hari ni lah.
According to ID, the Health Ministry officers would classify the personnel involved as close contacts to the 2 suspects who were tested positive for COVID-19. The suspects were involved in an altercation at Green Road on Sunday.
On to the next update, as a total of 130 houses with 700 residents of Sungai Maong village, Kuching, will undergo COVID-19 swab testing this Thursday. According to the head of Sungai Maong village, Masni Mori, all the preparations had already been set to ensure a smooth process.
Besok hari ahli jawatankuasa JKK pun bertindak sama, akan memantau setiap rumah yang ada di kampung Sungai Maong turun swab, jangan ada yang bersembunyi, jangan ada yang takut. Ini adalah untuk kepentingan kita bersama.
Meanwhile, Masni added the residents living in the area found it difficult to accept the announcement about the Enforced Movement Control Order EMCO. However, local residents abide with the government's call of action to curb the spread of COVID-19. The entrance to the village area was also controlled, including river routes by the police, RELA, Civil Defence Force and other agencies.
383 residents of Taman Univista, Kota Samarahan, undergo the COVID-19 swab testing through the drive-through screening since the active case detection or ACD on Tuesday. According to the health officer of the Ministry of Health or MOH, Dr. Joyo Kichen, most who undergo the screening test were close contact COVID-19 cases. Following the matter, District Police Chief of Kota Samarahan, DSP Sudirman Kram, said 4 roadblocks have been set up to control the movement entries to the said residential area. The residential area has 111 houses with a total of 780 residents. Meanwhile, Sudiram Kram added a total of 32 police personnel, 32 armed forces and 36 volunteer corps will be assigned during the EMCO. Following the next news, as the movement restriction in 4 longhouses in Beluru district, Miri, is still ongoing until February 21. The 4 longhouses include Pengabang Longhouse, Matthew Tiri Longhouse, Lawang Longhouse and Banyan Longhouse.
Meanwhile, Miri State Disaster Management Committee Minister Dato' Lee Kim Shin also announced that the movement restrictions in 9 longhouses in Miri Division has ended. Following the detections of positive COVID-19 cases in Beluru district, Miri Health Department carried out active contact tracing on February 12th until February 14th. Other than longhouses and villages, an estate in Subis was imposed a movement restriction order commencing from January 25th until February 22nd. Meanwhile, Miri was among 11 districts in Sarawak which are listed as red zones involving 4 active clusters, namely the Basayab cluster, Seruas Beluru cluster, Rakut cluster and Jelita cluster.
Right. Now, a special terrestrial education TV channel, Didik TV, kickstarts today. It can be viewed through Channel 107 on MyTV, Channel 147 on Astro, and NTV7 on Unify TV from 7 a.m. to midnight daily. The setting up of the channel was an effort by the Education Ministry. It allows access to quality education for students nationwide. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said Didik TV would broadcast programs based on the ministry's curriculum and co-curriculum. It also broadcasts news on the world education from preschool to Form 6, edutainment programs and student-generated content.
Kerajaan sedar bahawa pendidikan merupakan antara sektor yang amat terkesan akibat pandemik COVID-19 yang melanda negara sejak awal tahun lalu. Keadaan ini merupakan satu situasi yang sukar sehinggakan Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia, iaitu KPM, perlu mengambil keputusan menutup sekolah semasa tempoh pelaksanaan Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan iaitu PKP. Namun begitu, KPM committed untuk terus menyediakan akses pendidikan kepada lebih 5 juta murid bagi membolehkan mereka mendapat pengetahuan, kemahiran dan nilai yang diperlukan.
Muhyiddin said PDPR via online has not been fully implemented yet. This is because of the vastly diverse backgrounds of students, with some living in urban, rural or remote areas. Meanwhile, the launching of Didik TV receives positive response from the people, especially those who are living in rural areas. This was based on the challenges faced by parents, teachers and students who face difficult situation during the COVID-19 situation.
Kaedah yang digunakan memang dapat menarik perhatian anak-anak, pelajar-pelajar, khususnya mereka yang sedia gadget ataupun sedia telefon bimbit dan kawasan pedalaman.
He added, with the channel, parents do not need to worry about gadgets and they can supervise their children through the medium. In line with Majid, Pamela And also has the opinion that the channel is also suitable for students from every school session.
Pun Didik TV itu sesuai untuk semua lapisan dari prasekolah sampai tingkatan 6. Even silibusnya memang ada, so senanglah untuk parent dan untuk pelajar lah.
Meanwhile, according to Farida Sali and Julia Rigo, the teaching and learning process online has not met its objective in the short term of time. This was due to the limitations, especially when parents are working.
Ibu bapa yang kerja itulah masalah yang paling utama. Contohnya ibu bapa yang kerja dan mereka terpaksa menggunakan hanya satu peranti. Jadi guru ini terpaksa buat kerja yang diberikan oleh guru-guru apabila ibu bapa pulang ke rumah.
Cabaran dia bagi parents yang hantar anak diorang masuk sekolah yang dui bahasa macam sekolah Cina. Mostly sebab tak semua parents yang hantar anak diorang ke sekolah Cina, diorang faham bahasa Cina. And then bila cikgu diorang bagi kerja rumah, mostly cikgu dia akan bagi dalam bahasa Cina and then agak susah untuk kamu orang explain ataupun any instruction tu memang dalam bahasa Cina lah.
Through Didik TV, the channel could also aid students who will be sitting for public examinations.
Mungkin untuk murid-murid yang akan mengikuti ujian umum, peperiksaan umum seperti SPM, mungkin itu membantu buat masa sekarang ini. Tetapi bagi murid sekolah rendah, kemungkinan ada masalah sikit sebab mereka ini jika dah setahu kita, mereka ini lebih selesa jika menggunakan telefon daripada menonton TV.
Thank you for staying with me. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture Malaysia, or MOTAC, will continue this year's National Chinese New Year Open House celebration despite facing the COVID-19 pandemic. The celebration, however, would see a different approach as it will be held virtual through the ministry's social media platform My MOTAC in Facebook and TV1 RTM. According to its minister, Datuk Seri Nancy Shukri, the ministry will still continue the tradition of the celebration in the new norm. The national celebration is an annual program awaited by most Malaysians. However, it will be done this time following compliance of standard operating procedure.
Anjuran sambutan ini diharapkan dapat meningkatkan semangat bersatu hati dan toleransi serta menyemai nilai-nilai murni dan budaya yang tinggi dalam kalangan masyarakat yang pelbagai kaum untuk lebih bersifat terbuka dan saling menghormati.
She added the community will enjoy the celebration with many special performances. Among the performances included the compilation of the National Chinese New Year Open House Celebration 2016 until 2020, the Selamat Datang dance performance, fan dance from Istana Budaya Artistry, and singing performance from Masya Mashita and Nicole Lai. Commenting further, she added the program will be held on Saturday at 9 p.m. to be officiated by the Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. On to our local development, as the Mirit community now has their own word register based on their own language called Bup Ite Itai, as part of the initiative in the preservation of the language published by the Jati Mirit Association.
According to the president of the Jati Mirit Association, Dato' Abdullah Abdul Rahim, the book was also in line with the efforts to make full use of the allocation from the Sarawak government. Other than the preservation of the Mirit language, it was also hoped that the book could garner appreciation among the community to preserve the language, which was seen to face the risk of being extinct.
We had to try to preservekan bahasa itu lah. Pada peringkat awal kita buat satu buku cara bercakap sebagai panduan untuk menarik minat orang Mirit supaya menyumbangkan perkataan yang perlu didaftarkan. And this second one is a bigger one. We collect all the perkataan itu ada detail data. Dan insyaallah we are now also working together with Dewan Bahasa, trying to make a dictionary.
He said so after his courtesy call to the Chief Minister of Sarawak, Dato' Petinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg, on Wednesday. At the same time, the association also presented the Ide Itai book to the Chief Minister. Meanwhile, the Chief Minister was also presented with the cultural book of the Jati Mirit community, which was a result of the collaboration between University Malaysia Sarawak and the Sarawak State Library.
Now, good relationship between teachers and the local community is vital in the educational development. Moreover, this foundation laid would enhance the locals' living standards in the long run. Emphasizing on such importance, the Layar State Constituency has set up the Layar Education Development Committee, or LEDC, in addressing the matter of strengthening the relationship between teachers and the local community. The community chairman, Paul Dagang, said since its establishment in 2019, the committee has organized 21 programs. He also added that LEDC, which was envisioned by Layar Assemblyman Gerald Rentap Jabu, always prioritizes the roles of teachers and locals in Betong.
Nama 7 LEDC itu tadi, 7 LEDC tadi, siti kita ngerapat ke kaul bala cigu ngau komuniti setempat. Kedua, kita akan tolong bala cigu semajako pihak JPN, pihak PPD kira tusahkan tolong beri bandian sama ada kat khusus atau mungkin sekolah ada belanja atau ke mayanya tadi utai tadi tidak PPD nak boleh nganjung. Jadi kami masuk campur nganjung bela cikgu khusus.
According to him, among the programs which was organized by LEDC is Jolly Phonics, as a preparation for preschoolers before entering the Primary 1 school session. The program's initiatives included giving an early exposure to preschoolers on science and mathematics subjects, aiming to ensure the target group of students will have a good command of English. Other initiatives include 305 units of tablets to Form 5 students in 3 schools in Layar that was set for the Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia or SPM examinations this year, and ensuring these students will not be left behind in the emergence of technology. Commenting further, Paul said ALADC's initiatives was in line with the state government's program in developing digital economy. At the same time, the government had set up a special task force known as COVID-19 Immunization Task Force or CITF. The team will manage the implementation of the National COVID-19 Immunization Program.
The Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation will be the coordinator for the program. Its Minister Khairi Jamaluddin will lead the CITF, which will report to the Cabinet.
Struktur CITF ini menekankan kepada pendekatan yang bersepadu seperti mana yang telah pun disetujui oleh Jemaah Menteri, iaitu a whole of society approach, merangkumi semua agensi-agensi dalam kerajaan persekutuan, kerajaan negeri, PBT dan juga badan-badan bukan kerajaan, NGO, sukarela sampailah ke peringkat individu. Untuk kita menjayakan program imunisasi kebangsaan ini, kita memerlukan sokongan daripada seluruh negara, semua rakyat Malaysia, semua penduduk di Malaysia untuk memastikan bahawa seramai mungkin dapat diberikan vaksin COVID-19.
Khairi said the CITF management team would be supervised by 2 co-directors. They are the Health Deputy Director General for Public Health, Datuk Dr. Chong Chi Kiong, and the Army Deputy Chief Lieutenant General, Datuk Muhammad Abdul Rahman.
The police and the army will be deployed to secure COVID-19 vaccines. The security measure is to prevent the vaccines from theft and tampering.
The Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Khairi Jamaluddin, said security will be enforced during transit and at various vaccine storage centres nationwide.
Saya percaya polis dan juga Angkatan Tentera Malaysia, Timbalan Panglima ada di sini, akan membantu bukan hanya di pusat-pusat simpanan vaksin tetapi juga dalam kita menghantar konvoi-konvoi ke seluruh negara membawa vaksin ini. Sebab vaksin ini menjadi barang yang sangat-sangat bernilai sekarang.
312,390 doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine is expected to arrive in the country on 21st February. The rollout of the programs will start on 26 February. The doses are scheduled to be given first to the Prime Minister, Cabinet members and medical frontliners.
On to the COVID-19 development as Sarawak recorded 3 COVID-19 fatalities today, bringing the death toll to 65. 200 new positive cases were also detected, bringing the total positive cases to 7,225.
The Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee in the statement said Cebu continued to record the highest number of cases at 102, followed by Kapit 53, Kuching at 16 and Bintulu at 13. Kuching has turned to red from an orange zone. The committee said a total of 43 locally transmitted cases of COVID-19 were reported at the district in the last 14 days. A new COVID-19 cluster dubbed the Jan Yong cluster was detected in Kapit. The committee said the new cluster was a community cluster that had been detected in a longhouse in Sungai Yong area. 14 cases were detected under the new cluster.
Malaysia recorded 22 new COVID-19 deaths, making the cumulative total death toll in the country to 1,005 cases. At the same time, 2,998 new COVID-19 cases were recorded, making the cumulative total of cases in the country to 272,163 cases. According to Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, the new case involved 2,991 local infections and 7 imported cases. On Wednesday, as many as 5,709 recovered cases were recorded. Meanwhile, 30 new clusters were detected by the Health Ministry. Welcome back. Now, the latest version of Sarawak's Sia Sito 2.0 campaign is set to be launched next month, following the campaign's success in keeping domestic tourism afloat amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture said the campaign will have 60 packages, double what was offered in the initial program launched in July last year and set to end on March 31 this year. Its Minister, Dato' Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, said the initial campaign had generated more than 1.5 million ringgit in sales. Under the current campaign, holiday makers enjoy a discount of 50% on rates with some 30 packages. The packages include destinations like the Bakor National Park, Matang Telaga Air, and the Kuching Wetlands. It offers tours such as frog and bird watching, Irawandi dolphin watching, and the Sarawak River Sunset Cruise. The public feedbacks have always been a priority to the Ministry of Youth and Sports pertaining to the football industry, as it is considered among a sector which could generate revenue in contributing back to the economy. Minister of Youth and Sports, Dato' Seri Rizal American Nine American, said plans to reopen football activities in commercial and futsal are being placed during the Movement Control Order, or MCO. Rizal added the ministry will work hard to reopen all sports sectors. The industry players are urged to submit applications to the National Security Council, or NSC, in accordance with standard operating procedures set. At the same time, Rizal also added he was ready to meet with any party who wants to get an application for the benefit of all. A motorcyclist was pronounced dead following a three-vehicle collision involved at Jalan Selirik, Kapit. The Fire and Rescue Department, or JBPM Sarawak, said during the 11:23 a.m. incident, the male motorcyclist collided with two other vehicles from opposite directions. The impact of the crash caused the victim, who was pronounced dead at the scene, while his pillion rider suffered severe injuries. Meanwhile, the driver of the vehicle and two passengers of the vehicle did not have any injuries. The body of the deceased was sent to the police for further investigation. Wrapping up the Nightline tonight, as Sarawak-born artist and musician Alina Murang and her collaborations have contributed to the promotion of Sabahan and Sarawakian music as part of their Road to Heritage program. Alina, who had won an international award in Argentina in November last year, will be collaborating with Dr. Nadia Widawati Madzi from the Faculty of Music, University Technology Mara, or UITM, and music groups Estranged and Stone Bay. The Road to Heritage program will uncover the history of traditional musical instruments, which will be documented as an educational archive in the near future.
Bersama saya sebagai seorang pengkaji mengenai budaya, pembikinan alat dan segala-galanya berkaitan dengan tradisi muzik yang kita ingin perkembangkan dan menunjukkannya di mata dunia.
Two states will be involved, Sabah and Sarawak, and over there we'll be finding out how instruments are made.
Membuat sempotong, sundatan, sape, praktung.
Bagi saya sebagai seorang anak Sarawak, and actually Dr. Nadia pun anak Sarawak, kami dua sangat excited untuk belajar juga dari negeri Sabah, sebab Sabah dan Sarawak kan kita ada banyak similarities, banyak persamaan.
And that concludes TVS Nightline for tonight. As always, thank you for tuning in to your local news tonight. Here with me, Shaw Shaminato, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night.